Okay, sorry about that, boys and girls. I have one of my dogs barking in the other room, so I couldn't hear. And you can't hear either. Okay, so we're finishing up talking about Sal and the Spanish words, right? So in there it says we did cold, which is frío, no, saber, does, hace, laugh is reír, and both, ambos means both in Spanish, and again is otra vez. It means again. So those are our Spanish words for the story about Sal and the fire department. So what you're going to do next is put away your Super Kid workbook and get out your reader. And we're going to read a story today. Story today about Sal and the fire department. And now Mr. Tommy's trying to come in the door in the middle of my lesson. Maybe I should make my videos at school. Okay, so on page 123 is the story about Sal and the fire department. So in the story, we're going to find out how it's helpful for Sal to know Spanish and English, and how he helps the firemen in the story. So you can read it with me. We'll read together, and then later you're going to send a video to me of yourself reading the story so that I can hear you. Okay? So it says, Sal and the fire department. Sal likes to visit the fire department on 3rd Street. Stormy, the fire dog, always greets Sal first. Arf, arf. Sal pets her soft fur. The rest of the firefighters are happy to see Sal too. He is teaching them how to speak Spanish. They each take a turn saying, hola. Some days Sal helps clean the fire trucks. They can get really dirty. Sal and the firefighters always laugh and tell jokes. But when the alarm rings, the firefighters must go. Sal stands back so he won't get hurt. The trucks hurry off to the fire. So what is Sal doing? He's helping the firemen do what? Learn Spanish, right? Because in their town, just like in our town, there are kids and people who speak Spanish only and not English. And when they have an emergency and have to go there, if they can't speak Spanish, then they can't help the people very well, can they? So it's important for somebody like Sal to help the grown-ups there learn how to speak Spanish in case of an emergency. And in the next story, in the reader, there is going to be an emergency, and Sal is going to come in very handy to help the firemen know what the family is trying to tell them. So we'll see that story tomorrow in the reader. All right, so that's your Super Kid lesson for today, Monday. It's April, remember. Now we've started April, and we're still not back in school. So hopefully we will be. You're finished with your Go Math book, but you have a little smaller practice book that you can practice in, just a couple of lessons a day. It's very short. And also you have IXL lessons that you should be working on. That'll help you keep your math skills up, like for adding, subtracting. And we give you an assignment, but if you've already done that, then don't worry about it. Just go to the next thing that you haven't done yet. You can start at A in IXL and go all the way down. You should be able to do all of it by now. Also, Mrs. Dyer was sending out an email about AR. So if you have an AR, if you remember your password and username, or she may have sent it to your parents again, then you can be taking AR tests and getting points. Some of us might still need points to get to the 20 points. A lot of us already had our 20 points. So Be sure if you don't think you have your AR points for your medal that you're reading and taking AR at home. All right, so I'm going to read you a book today called Oh Say Can You Seed? And it's a Dr. Seuss book. And this is a good time of year to think about seeds and planting seeds because it's spring, and that's when it's a good time to grow stuff. I'm the cat in the hat, and I think that you need to come take a look at this thing called a seed. From the giant gum tree to this very small weed, every flowering plant started out as a seed. Plants are so useful to me and to you. Can you think of new ways? I will name you a few. For paper, for books, the cloth for your pants came from trees and from cotton. That's two kinds of plants. The grains and the fruits and the veggies you eat, why, they come from plants too. And here's something neat. In deserts and woods and rainforests thick, grow plants that can make you feel well when you're sick. Yes, plants serve us well and fill so many needs, and flowering plants all started as seeds. Just what is a seed, you're wondering maybe? Well, you might say a seed is a tiny plant baby. The best way for you to see just what I mean is to take a close look at a seed called a bean. Like all seeds, a bean comes in three basic parts. Thing 1 and thing 2, please bring on the charts. Part 1 is the first that I think you should know. That's the part that the baby is called an embryo. To sprout, it needs food like you and I do, which brings us to seed part numero 2. It's called a cotyledon. Isn't that fun? This bean seed has 2, but others have 1. And last comes the third part that you need to know. It's the coat which protects our cute bean embryo. And embryo is the same thing you call a tiny baby human even. To sprout a bean seed, keep it moist but not wet. Keep it covered with dirt and then you see what you get. In 7 or so days comes the part that I love. A root spreads below and a stem shoots above. Now, in order to show a grown bean plant to you, we've traveled in time for some months, maybe 2. Thing 2 calls the part above ground the shoot system. Thing 1 calls the part underground the root system. So you can see the picture in the book shows the seed was planted under the ground in the dirt, and roots came down, and then a stem grew up above the ground, and then leaves start to grow. And what color are the leaves? They're green, and most all plants are green. And that's because they have a food inside them called chlorophyll. Can you say that? Chlorophyll. We'll learn some more about that too. To get a good look at the roots underground, it's better to make like a mole I have found. Roots are not pretty, they're twisty and hairy. Some roots might even look a little bit scary. Roots anchor a plant and help it stand true. Roots suck up the water and minerals too. And roots keep the soil from just washing away. That's pretty important now, wouldn't you say? So if you look at the cat in the hat, he's under the ground, it looks like. And you can see the roots, like the tree roots. These roots you can eat. Those are carrots. Carrots are part of the plant that's a root. We've talked about roots, we've learned about them, and now it's time we moved on to the stem. The stem is a pipe through which water shoots. It's absorbed from the soil and passed up through the roots. It shoots through the plant, as next you'll see. The leaves each turn into a food factory. Leaves come in all shapes and sizes I found, some small and some spiky, some big and some round. But the thing that leaves have all in common is they make their own food by photosynthesis. I say this quite loudly, and I don't mean to be rude, but plants are the only living thing on earth that make their own food. To do this, plants need water, minerals, and sun, and that's why the daytime's when food making's done. For your information and also for fun, hop in my shrink upper and let's see how it's done. So plants are pretty special that they make their own food. The leaf takes in CO2 through a stoma or pore. It works like a mouth, and that's what it's for. The air gets mixed in with water and sun, and that's how the food factory is run. I see by my clock that now is the hour to drop in and say hello to the flower. Thing 2 has a chart. He'll share it with you. It shows what the parts of a flower will do. In the pistil or ovules, they're unfertilized seeds. The stamen holds pollen, which an ovule needs. An unfertilized ovule will not ever grow, and pollen's the stuff that will fix that, you know. A flower's own pollen or another's okay, and that's where bees play a role, by the way. So right now we're all sneezing and snorting because we're having allergies maybe to pollen, because this is the time of year for that. To make honey, bees need to get nectar from flowers. They fly and they gather this sweet stuff for hours. The pollen sticks onto their bodies and legs. It falls off and sometimes it reaches the eggs. An ovule that's fertilized becomes a seed, and around it a fruit upon which we feed. When we say the word fruit, do you know what that means? It means olives, nuts, grains, plantains, tangerines, apples and oranges and pineapples too. All kinds of plant foods that are healthy for you. So we eat lots of seeds. Not all plants with seeds give us edible fruit. Some plants have seeds that look weird or look cute. Burr seeds are hitchhikers that ride on your clothes. Dandelion seeds sometimes fly up your nose, and some seeds come in pods that explode like a sneeze, and other seeds may have wings that can fly on the breeze. Whether they stick or they blow or they fly, seeds bring us life, and now you know why. I see the sun setting, and here comes the moon. Your mother is calling, your dinner is soon. I hope that you've learned from my little seed talk, and now I will climb up this giant beanstalk. The end. So that's "Oh Say Can You Seed." All right, finish your work for today, boys and girls. Send me a video of you reading your story, and see you tomorrow on Tuesday, day 7. Bye.